Of the 1 p.m. Central African time, a projected spend of 1 billion rand in visitor spending is projected for the KwaZulu-Natal region during this I was going to say festive, it's not, but Easter period between the 30th of March to the 5th of April. Over 300,000 domestic trips and more than 57,000 international visitors are expected to arrive at the KwaZulu-Natal region in South Africa. To help us unpack this outlook, Brett Tungay, the chairperson of Fedhasa, is joining us on the line. Brett, thank you so much for your time. How important is this Easter period for the province's tourism economy?
All long weekend extremely important for tourism, and especially Easter. It's always a bumper period for KZN and the rest of the country, actually. In fact, it's South Africans always take the good opportunity that the long weekend presents, and they head out and take a good break.
Let's talk about I see the numbers are quite significant here. 312,000 plus domestic trips and over 57,000 international visitors. Is there anything specific that is being done to prepare for the Easter period?
So KZN is still the number one domestic destination in South Africa. And for that, we've got all the necessary, the RTI and the municipal police, South African police services, all out in force for the long weekend to make sure that travel is safe and traffic flows. So we are definitely ready as a province, but not only in KZN. We've seen it around the country. Everybody's gearing up for the long weekend. And hopefully, at this stage, looks like everything should hopefully flow without incident.
We are seeing more interest as well, Brett, in inland travel within KwaZulu-Natal. More and more visitors are exploring deeper within KZN. Are those numbers indeed rising as opposed to just seeing everyone flocking to the coastal areas?
No, we're definitely seeing a recovery in the domestic tourism numbers throughout KZN. With the Drakensberg, the Midlands, definitely seen increase in numbers. The increase is not as much as we'd like yet. The domestic travel is still under, the whole economy is still under pressure, but we are definitely seeing numbers heading now in the right direction. So what we need to really focus on now as a province is to try and get the international numbers back. Post-COVID, what we've seen in South Africa is a polarization in terms of the foreign numbers coming into the country, where we've got our numbers nearly back to, if not slightly exceeding what we had pre-COVID in terms of foreign arrivals. But those foreign arrivals are going to the Western Cape and to Mpumalanga, Kruger National Park. And we need to start spreading the love again and getting those foreigners traveling broadly around South Africa again. And that includes KZN and the Northern Cape, Eastern Cape, Northwest, Gauteng, and Free State. That's what we need to try and now work on, because South Africa's got the capacity. The bed numbers are there. We could easily multiply on foreign arrivals by 5-6 times, and we would be easily able to absorb those numbers into the beds that we've got currently in the hotels and resorts around South Africa, especially in KZN. And what we're seeing is that the domestic market, yes, very strong over long weekends, school holidays, but without the economy growing plus 3%, we're not seeing growth back in the out of season periods from the domestic market. And we need to try and patch that up now with the foreign market while the economy is still lagging.
We're seeing a lot of the travel habits are changing, Brett. People are a little bit more cautious, especially when it comes to their budgets. Anything you can share with us as to how hospitality businesses in particular are adopting their offerings so that they can meet these new consumer expectations, as it were?
Well, if you look at the domestic product that's offered in terms of hotels and resorts, yes, there are the high-end products that most of us couldn't afford, and mainly aimed at the internationals. But in terms of most of your product, especially in KZN, is aimed at the mid-market. And that, you've got plenty options in that, not only on the coast, but inland as well. And it's just more question people just shopping around to find something that meets their budget. But that's the one thing with the accommodation establishments in especially KZN is there's a huge variety, from camping all the way up to your 5-star high-end hotels. So there is always there's a product out there to meet each pocket basically out there.
I know that safari travels are also becoming a popular thing in the coastal area. As much as people want to go whale watching, dolphin watching, and being by the beach, they're also seeing a rise in exploring places like Ismangaliso or wetland parks. Tell us about that particular area, because I'm very fascinated about it, and not much is being shared about that hidden gem, if you will.
Oh, it's not only just with Isamangaliso, it's Shushluyo-Mfolozi, the Drakensberg Park. I could go name a whole bunch of places where they're proper hidden gems. And the nice thing is with those is they're still affordable. Let's say Isamangaliso, you can get in there. Virtually every South African can afford to go in there. Where you got across the road, you got the likes of Pinder, which is catering exclusively virtually to the foreign market, which is high end. But those experiences are still out there for South Africans. Shushluyo-Mfolozi is one of the most amazing, diverse game reserves in the country, equaling anything that we've got in any other province. And many of the camps there are very affordable. The same in the Drakensberg and same in most of the reserves around the country. So we're saying is that, yes, if you want to go and spend 10,000 Rand a night, there's plenty of options out there. But if you also want to go and spend, 500-600 Rand a night, there's also a lot of options. But people just need to explore, they need to look around, and they need to go off the beaten track and have a look at those hidden gems.
What a beautiful country we're in, man. And I think just on that note, for the locals, explore your own back door. Oh my goodness, KZN alone has so many options to fit any budget. So you don't have to be left alone. March, April, very significant for religious observation. Brett, we were talking about the fact that the Easter and Good Friday is coming up. We've just had Passover. We've just had Ramadan as well. Are there any sort of, how do these religious gatherings, I want to say, sort of impact family travels at this time? And are there popular hotspots based on what's happening religiously?
Oh, well, definitely. Easter is one of those, and one of those periods where we see a lot of travel, especially people returning back to their homelands, to areas where they came from. We've got a lot of migrant working in South Africa, a lot of people going to Gauteng, going down to the Western Cape, and coming back into places like KZN and the Eastern Cape for the long weekend, not only for religious purposes, but also to visit family, and go and see the gogo out in the homestead. Head down to the home in Durban, and we're seeing a lot of that, especially Easter. It's a lot of the travel is definitely to go and see family and friends.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing those numbers, and if those projections are anywhere near the actual numbers realized during this period. Brett, let's talk about the work of Fedhasa. I hope I'm saying it properly. You are the voice of hospitality in South Africa. Tell us more about the work that you do.
So Fedhasa, we're the Federated Hospitality Association. So we look after all your hotels, resorts, B&Bs, and also all your sit-down restaurants in South Africa. And our primary goal is to be the voice of the industry, in especially dealing with government in terms of legislation, how we market the country, the legislation that comes through to affect all the businesses and employees in the industry. So no, lobbying is our main goal. And then, of course, looking at where we can try and market South Africa and all the provinces as the go-to destinations, not only domestically, but also internationally. In industry, we're wanting to grow. Yeah, at the moment, what are we? We're at about 1 in 11 employees in South Africa is employed in the hospitality sector. And one of the things we believe in is that our sector has the ability to be the leading growth sector in the economy, and we aiming to have at least the 3 in 10 employed people in South Africa should be in the hospitality industry. We have the capacity, we have the ability, we got the amazing landscape to be able to not only showcase South Africa for the domestic travelers, but also for the international travelers. Yeah, there's very few places, if you take KZN as an example, where you can do an absolutely amazing beach holiday. You can go and hike in 3,000-meter mountains. You've got amazing history going all the way back, and you've got this cultural and religious diversity just in one province. And I'm not talking about all the rest of the provinces. And we need to start showcasing that. If you deep dive into the actual foreign arrival numbers in South Africa, we're only sitting at around about 1 million proper tourists that actually come into South Africa a year. And if you look at like the island of Phuket, it's the same size as basically the Durban eThekwini municipality area. They get around 3.7 million tourists just into that area alone every year. Why can't we have South Africa? It's not a hard shot for us to aim, is 4 or 5 million proper bona fide foreign tourists coming into South Africa every year. If we do that, it will absolutely change the South African economy. The nice thing with tourism is to get into the tourism economy takes very little skill and very little capital. You can literally come into the industry as a tour guide or with zero capital, just your own time to study. Or you can go in as a basket weaver on the side of the street. Or you can invest a couple of billion and create an amazing hotel experience. So the variety is huge. Plus, if you look at in terms of employment in the tourism sector or in the hospitality, about 60 to nearly 70% of the people employed in the hospitality sector do not even have a qualification in the hospitality sector. They all get on the job training. And that is absolutely amazing. You look at what other sector can you just walk into and build your way up from maybe going in as a reservationist, as a junior reservationist, and working your way up to a general manager of a hotel. It's one of the few industries that actually can give that career path without any education, behind it. Just initiative, personality, and drive. And that's why the amazing thing about hospitality, and we need to try as a country, embrace that and actually drive it. And
Absolutely.
We have the ability. We've got everything there for it.
Right. Brett, thank you very much. You're clearly very passionate about the work, and we definitely share in that passion with you because job creation, very, very important in the sector of tourism. Brett Tungay joining us. He is the chairperson of Fedhasa. It is 1:32.